Today, I'm gonna show you how to shoot a product video that looks like this in your bedroom. So the first thing you need to do is you need to choose a product that you want to use. I decided to pick something that looked unique and cool. Larceny. Yeah, it just has this really like rebellious type of feel to it. I really liked how there's like a little keyhole in there, and then inside you can actually see the key. So I thought that was pretty cool. Right here is my baby. So this is the Zcam E2 4K, does up to 160 frames in 4K, does ProRes. I'm shooting on the Sigma 18 to 35mm, one of the best crop sensor lenses you could possibly use on a Metabones speed booster. And this is going to be my new workhorse for when it comes to my client work. Now for the whole video, it was on a tripod and it was locked onto a slider so I could get smoother shots. What I did was I actually took my desk and I pulled it back away from the wall about 2.5 feet. That way I could create some depth between the product and the wall. Now, what I ended up using for lighting was I had a Falcon Eyes 18T. It's a really nice flat and flexible light that I had boosted up on a C-stand, and it was just overhead lighting top down. Now, the problem with that was it was spilling onto my back wall way too much, and it wasn't giving this nice depth and moody vibe that I wanted. Now, because I didn't have any way of flagging the light and it was spilling onto the back of my wall, what I ended up doing was I used a black hoodie that was in my bedroom that I typically keep in here in case I get cold, and I kind of just hung it over the top of the light and kind of just let it flag the light from spilling onto the back wall. Speaking of the back wall, what I ended up using was Boiling P1 light. What I love about this light is it's so small. I mean, look at this. But here it's bicolor, so you can tell if you boost it, you see how bright that gets, all the way down to true zero. You can change the color temperature on it. It does all these different color modes, special modes like police lights, stuff like that. And I think that's just really unique to have in your kit. I had the light on the light stand that was underneath my desk. So I pointed it up towards the wall to create a nice gradient on the green walls that I had already. And the nice thing about this is because it was only about 2 feet away, I didn't have enough room to put a hair light in specifically for the bottle to light it up. So that spill bouncing off the wall actually kind of gave the bottle a nice backlight in itself. I wish I had more room to shoot with a hair light, but in this case, again, I'm working in my bedroom and this is the best I could do. For my next light, I had an Aperture F7, which is a small LED bicolor light. I had it on another light stand and it was just slightly throwing some fill light on the front of the label just to kind of give the bottle a nice little pop. A few of these shots, if you actually look back at the glass, you'll notice there is some type of light. On those super tight shots, I actually took my cell phone and just laid it up against a lens and turned my cell phone flashlight on. With the desk being only about 2.5 feet away from the wall, I pretty much just pulled it back, and I had a tripod about 1 foot to 1.5 feet away from the actual desk itself. That way I could shoot it at different angles. Now, if you notice some of those shots are spinning, you might think I was using a Lazy Susan, and that's not the case at all. There's some electronic versions that people like Austin Paul, Daniel Schiffer use for their videos. And a lot of the inspiration for this video actually came from Austin Paul. So what I used to actually rotate the bottle, I couldn't find anything to make it spin. I know a lot of people have been using fidget spinners, and for the life of me, I couldn't find one in my house, even though I know it's somewhere. So I went down to my kitchen and I actually found this, whatever this is. So I believe this is like a cutting board or something that you serve cheese on, I guess, at parties. Anyway, I found this in my kitchen, and basically what I did is I rested the bottle on top of this. Now, in order to make it spin, I needed something to kind of give it a little bit of height. What I ended up using was a body cap for my Sony camera. So with this on top of the table and this on top, it gave me a nice frictionless surface that kind of spun. Ice cubes I actually got are from my buddy Mac. You gotta say hi to the camera.
No, I'm saying bye because I'm leaving.
Oh, saying bye. Never mind. Okay. Mac actually was kind enough to give me some of his ice cubes that he ordered for another product video that he's doing. Now these ice cubes are about 20 bucks and you get like a bag of 50 of them, I believe. The problem with using real ice is it melts. They're not all consistent and it doesn't reflect as nice as these fake cubes. They highlight really well and they don't melt. So you can do as many takes as you need. Now, the hardest part of this video for me was actually pouring the whiskey. So if you notice in the video, when I'm pouring the whiskey, it's kind of coming out heavy and quick. I guess there's a certain way it's supposed to pour whiskey so there's no air in the bottle. I didn't know that and I actually found that out afterwards. I actually just held a solo cup on my desk and I poured the whiskey into it. Now, one thing I learned is this gets messy quick. I mean, I had whiskey on the desk, it was on the floor, it was on my camera lens, it was everywhere. From the time I had working at a bar, I remembered all of our bottles had sprouts on the top to make it easier to pour liquids into glasses. And because of quarantine, I couldn't go to my local liquor store and buy a pack of these. And I decided to go look in my kitchen again and see what I could find to help me. My family actually had this bottle, which is used for like oils and vinaigrettes and salad dressing, I guess. And at the top, it actually had a spout to pour the liquid out nice and smooth. So if you look closely at these shots, you'll notice that while I'm pouring whiskey into the glass, it's actually a nice, simple, smooth stream. Now for some of these shots, my camera actually died while I was filming the BTS video, and I just continued on. I actually just took my camera and locked it overhead above the glass as I just simply poured in the whiskey. Whatever works best for you, and I found that in my situation, handheld with a little warp stabilizer in post was the way I went with this. And that's how I made a simple product video in my bedroom with just a few lights, a camera, a bottle of whiskey, and a glass. Now, if you have any questions and if I happen to miss anything, just let me know down below and stay tuned for more videos just like this. See ya. Cut. We're done. Roll it.